Hello and welcome back to our channel as we started a new series related to the technical analysis dashboard. On last video we went through the requirements of what we want to gather and what we want to see at the end result, and here is the brief outcome of the scope of our work. So today we are going to start the actual coding. We will not cover all the code in one session. There will be two sessions. So today we will put the foundation work on a code. We will work to get the stock data. We will define most important metrics, what they are, and we will start working on the Streamlit on sidebar kind of thing for us, which will be the selector of our stock to show for each of stock our dashboard data. So let's start. Our last script was task 17. This one will be task 18. Technical analysis. We want to add it to Git, and of course, as always, we will start with the imports. Import Streamlit as st. Import now minus as yf, and import pandas as dd. We got this, and according to our document, which defines the scope of work, next will be the list, the user input, what we are going to provide to our code. As you can see in the repository, I added the stocks.txt file. It will appear on a Git repository once I will push this code, when it's complete of course, and you will have access to it as well. Or even after this session, the partial code, I will push it into Git, and you will have chance to get the part that we covered during today's session and prepare it on your local computer or download it to your repository and be ready for the final part. Going forward, the next session we are going to complete the code, just do a run to make sure that our code works, but the analysis of the dashboard and the results, that would be a separate lesson that we will go over, and we'll try to understand what is displayed on our dashboard and how it might be useful for us. Okay, now let's load stock symbols from this file. We want to use Streamlit cache, so we will minimize the load from our application to Yahoo Finance, our data source. Function of load stock symbol, and try. We are going to go with try and except to catch any exception possible with open stocks.txt and read as file. Symbols will be our list, which will be gathered by line strip or line in file if line strip. make sure that we got everything covered. Yes. And here, return symbols. Now what we did with this line, we will go over the stocks.txt file, which is file here. Each line, it will just strip it and place it into our created list one by one. And if this won't be the case, except file not found error, Streamlit error, your file wasn't found. And if this is the case, return empty list. Once again, we wrote a method that will get the stocks.txt file from the current folder. We'll go over it line by line, and into the newly created list of symbols, it will add each of the stock. Let's open it to see. So each of these stocks will be added as a list member for the symbols list, and it will return it once it's completed. Okay, file loading is complete. Let's mark it this way. Complete. Next, we're going to define indicator and fetch the data. We are going a bit in a mixed order in here, but it won't affect on our end result. So I will start adding comments for the code for you to have more visibility on what we did. So this one will be MACD. And before MACD, we're going to calculate SMA 50 and SMA 200. Next, we are going to calculate RSI and Bollinger Bands. So let's wrap all of this into one method to have all of them logically connected into one route. Define def calculate indicators of data. Okay. Data SMA 50 equals to data close. We've done this before, just to remember it. Rolling window equal 50 main data. Let's copy and paste it as we usually do, not to waste much time on the mechanical kind of job. Just copy and paste. Okay, good with this. Next is MACD. So with MACD, you remember it was exponential 12 data close AVM span 1. Sorry, just equals false. and same way be exp for 26 days, as we were looking on the explanation. 6, and here will be 26 as well, and data mark D, we are introducing a new field, will be exp12 minus exp26, and data signal line, the new field which will be our signal line for adding into plots. Data D WM span equals to 9, min just equals false, and now so we added SMA 50 and 200. We did this multiple times. Rather new thing is the MACD that we went through on the theoretical part of our exercise, and now we have this coded. Next is RSA. For RSA we're introducing yet new variable, which is data, close, and diff gain will be the delta, where delta more than 0, 0, rolling window equal 14, loss will be the same basically. Paste, but here delta will be less than 0. And the relatively strength, which is RS, equals gain divided by loss, and data RSA equals to 100 minus 100 divided 1 plus RS. You remember we went through this formula on our exercise. So we get over the formulas and calculations for each of these methods. And now let's go over Bollinger Bands. Data, your field will be upper band. That would be data. And close on rolling 20 min plus data parenthesis data close rolling 20 std multiplied by need to and the lower band. So what we are checking, it's the what we are creating is the set of lower and upper bands which are calculated based on 20 points above and below the closure price. 20 plus, and here goes minus anything, everything else remains the same. Okay, we have almost all our metrics for all the technical analysis indicators calculated and defined. Now they will be calculated once the data is received, and at the end of this method we are going to return the data. So our code here will append all of these indicators into the data list for the stocks. Per stock we will have one set of data named accordingly. Okay, we got this indicator calculations complete. Now let's go over data fetching. This is also pretty familiar code for you. We've done this multiple times. And define that stock data symbol stock equals if ticker symbol data. We're creating our data set, stock history period 6 months. Why 6 months? Because we have SMA 50 and SMA 200, so 6 months is more or less needed value to have for the 200 period. And if data is empty, return none. But if data isn't empty, data will be calculate indicators of the data and return data. So what we did today in this section, we created a function that will get the stock data for the symbol given from the load stock symbols, which at the end returns symbols as a list. And later on we'll go over loop for symbol and symbols, and for each of that symbol unit this method will be called, which will get the stock closure data and then go over that data with the calculate indicators method and calculate all the indicators mentioned here for that 6 months data. And now let's create our sidebar. Streamlit sidebar our preparation work for gather all the data is complete. Let's mark this as complete too. Sidebar, title, technical analysis, stock symbols will be load stock symbols. And let's make it nice, 2-line distance from the method above. So we added a title to our sidebar and loaded in there the stock symbols from this file to be displayed in a sidebar as opportunity to select or pick up the stock. I believe that's enough for one session. Again, we covered all the most important parts here. Now what is remaining is the visualization, how to get this data displayed properly, and of course going over the stock symbols list, and for each of those symbols get the data set with all the information for 6 months from Yahoo Finance. So this is it for today. Right now I'm going to push the code into Git. All git commit -m as started and git push region master. Okay, great. Code is in Git, so if you will check the Git repository right now, I will make sure to share the repository in the video description too. And one small advertisement, I will place there also a link to my book for 40 scripts in Python, from where you can get useful examples on how to start moving forward into the stock related coding for US financial markets. It's interesting, it's helpful, it's useful, and the next book that will be, it will go over more details on specific topics, most probably the different financial tools. First one can be options. So this is it for today. Thank you for your time. Hope you're enjoying our content. Like, subscribe, and share information to spread the word. I'm sure there are a lot of people that will find this useful for them. Thank you, and see you next time.